What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Pricey Popcorn. I'm Brady here with Ben. We're excited to give you guys some new episodes. We apologize for the brief 2 week absence to start the year. We just wanted to get everything right for you guys.
Yeah, we've been in the lab thinking up all kinds of topics, trying to make sure that we are ready to go going forward. We're going to try to, make up for the episodes that we missed. But yeah, it's great to be back. Hey, but before we get too far ahead, give us a like if you're on YouTube and maybe that little subscribe or, just follow us on Spotify so you know to catch our podcasts when they come up. You can follow me at benny.okay, benny.ok on Instagram.
You can follow me at Brady Altlin on Instagram. And hey, shoot us the like in the comments and even a follow on the Pricey Popcorn Instagram. We'd love to chat, love some new ideas.
Yeah,
Love
for sure.
engaging with the few fans we have out there.
Good ideas from the people are what's going to keep this going. So that's kind of what we have going on today. What's the topic today, Brady?
Yeah, so shout out to my boy Colin Waitsman for this great idea for the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about movies with great premises but just failed in execution. Just bad movies, great ideas. And as soon as I saw his comment about this one, the first thing that came to mind is The Purge. Because I think we can all agree there's 3 Purge movies now?
I did probably more than that. I
think there's 3. I think there's
not
the
so
original one. I think there's like a follow-up one, and then they did like the 4th of July Anarchy one. But yeah, I've only seen the first one, so I can't speak, but I just think the first one was not good for what it was. And I think it's a perfect example of what we're talking about. The idea of one night a year, you can do anything you want is a great premise for a movie. And, I think there's so much you could unpack into a movie like that into 2 or 3 hours that, it wouldn't have been a perfect movie anyway. But I think the execution of it was so failed when on that first one, because it was so specific. It was like one specific family, like one specific event, but they could have done some crazy stuff with it.
Right, yeah. So, like, I've never been much of a Purge guy. It didn't catch me because I kind of figured it would. I mean, it sounds on face value like an excellent kind of topic. But, yeah, I mean, it kind of seems like that's one that just sort of fell flat. I don't know. Aren't they doing a TV show or something?
They might be. And honestly,
something?
a TV show might be better than a
movie
movie, because you could do.
like,
Yeah,
you
could do like different. You could do like one season be one night and then like be with different characters the whole way through for each episode. I don't know, something different. But I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think the problem with the Purge franchise, or at least the Purge
so much
movies,
that can happen.
yeah, and like they kind of just went for like a general kind of basic thriller / horror movie.
Yeah, but I feel like it could have been just like done. I think the premise could have been like it could have been done better. They could have focused on something different. It could have focused on like the whole thing as a whole.
Right, like why this is going on.
Well, I actually do think the second movie was like the first Purge.
Right. Yeah, I know they did one of those, huh? So, I mean, I guess that's.
And I believe I saw that one as well. I don't think I saw the newest one.
No. Well, frankly, I haven't seen any of them. I'm sorry to be such.
That's just the first thing that comes to mind,
but
because it's one of those that I've always said. It's such great idea.
Yeah,
like it's a perfect
paper,
idea.
One night where everybody gets all of their
anything they want to do,
brouhaha out of their systems, and that's supposed to lead us to a society where we have peace the other 364 days a year. So just why turn that into a scary kind of movie? I mean, like,
thriller I like, but I think that just how they executed it was bad.
Right. Do you really think it would be so like crazy? Like everybody has their little their barricades that they spend millions of dollars on. Do you think?
No, I don't think it'd
really
be that
go
bad.
that crazy.
I don't think
on
it would
Purge
be.
Night?
It wouldn't be everyone. Like major cities would be bad, but like us sitting here in York, PA, like I think we'd all would probably just lock up. Everyone would probably have a gun anyway, but you just all lock up, all
Especially
stay inside, and just like sit and wait. Like big cities, yeah, shit would get crazy, and I'm sure like some rich people would do the thing that they do and just like hunt people like they do in the movie or whatever.
Right, with all this kind of spread out space we have in our town, there'd probably be a lot of that, like, kind of rich people taking advantage of the fact that I live off of the beaten path. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either.
I have no idea. People are crazy.
All I know, stay strapped, because you never know when somebody's going to try to purge you. You never know.
But more importantly, we're already 5 minutes in and we're talking about the purge still. I feel like that's just I wanted to kick it off with that because for me, when I hear the phrase like great premise, bad execution, purge is the first one that comes to mind.
Well, let me hit you with one myself. I want to talk about first here. I have a few on my list. Let's talk about. Well, this is one we both brought up beforehand, and I guess it can kind of springboard us into some other stuff. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, that's just
so this is a great movie or a great premise with failed execution in that it's based on some really excellent source material, and then they kind of they deviate from the source material in really weird ways, and it's just so whack, so lame, like not. And it's crazy.
I don't know anyone that likes the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. Like, I don't know a single person who even can sit and defend it and say it's different than like the Star Wars prequels, where you can at least be like, hey, it's not the best, but I like it. I don't know a single person who's like, hey, Avatar: The Last Airbender live action is a good movie. I like it.
I bet you we could think of one person who might say that take, but I don't know if we would bring that up on this podcast. I don't know. Well, I guess going off of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, the movie, like in a similar way, there are so many movies that are either based off of video games or like based off of anime that are just horrible. I mean, like one that comes to mind for sure is that Dragon Ball movie they made.
I feel like it's so hard. It's so hard to turn cartoons into live action. I think to begin with, I don't even think that's necessarily premises. I think it's just you already have the
I guess
you already have the idea of what Aang looks like in your head. So when they mess it up, right.
And there's also like, I mean, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but when you're watching a cartoon and you watch Aang jump 30 feet in the air,
yeah, it makes sense.
Like that doesn't look off. But when you try to recreate that,
I'm with you. I think, I mean, honestly,
I
don't want to disagree with you because I do think that Avatar: The Last Airbender is the one they could have got right. Like, I think they could have done it in a right way.
They're supposed to be doing a Netflix TV show.
I think they canceled it.
Really?
I think. I'm not sure. You might have to look that up.
Yeah, I might have to look that up because, I mean, I don't know. That's a thing that when I first heard of it, I was super skeptical because of how bad the movie was. And I'm like, do they really need to touch this? Because honestly, the Avatar: The Last Airbender is like really tight. It's really enjoyable.
Yeah, one of the best animated shows. Yeah, one of the best like Nickelodeon shows. But yeah, I think I'm going to disagree with you. I think I don't think you can throw like a lot of cartoons in there just because it's so hard. Like, yeah, if they made a live action Dragon Ball movie, we'd all just know that it's bad.
Well, yeah, they did, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they did. Death Note. They did, and Death Note was just horrible.
But again, I think it's too hard to do it.
Assassin's Creed. They tried to make an Assassin's Creed movie. I think they've made like Mortal Kombat movies and everything.
I think the Mortal Kombat movie comes out this year.
I guess Sonic and Detective Pikachu are the first two video game movies that are like.
Hey, Sonic wasn't bad, and neither was Detective Pikachu.
No, I enjoyed. Detective Pikachu came out on my 22nd birthday, so you better believe that I was there in theaters.
Detective Pikachu was a lot better than Sonic, but Sonic's not something. So? Sonic's not something. It wasn't great by any means, but it's not something that I'd say failed.
No, not at all. Like, I didn't mean to say those two failed. I just mean to bring those up as the two.
Again, I think it's so hard when it's like it's not just an idea. It's like already something that exists, and you're trying to redo it.
Right. So in
different even from a book, because at least in a book, like it is what it is. But most movies are books.
Right. Yeah. Well, a lot of them are. Yeah. So like it's tough to bring up stuff that's based on. Well, does a director do a good job of bringing the source material to life?
Yeah.
But I guess in terms of some like ideas that are slightly more original. Do you remember that movie, The Box, that came out?
See, I remember it. But off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you what it was about.
Yeah, I mean, it's about like a guy. It's kind of hazy in my memory right now, but a guy shows up and says, "You can push this box, and when you do, somebody will die." But, This like great.
Yep,
I
remember.
Forget if it's like there'll be somebody's loved one will be saved or something. I forget exactly what it is, but like I remember that came out. And, like nobody really. I don't know. It just kind of. I don't think it had very good reviews. It was kind of just a
No, I can agree with that. Yeah, I mean, the premise is cool. Hey, you push a button, someone dies, but you get $1 million.
That's what it was. You get $1 million. So yeah, like I mean, there's probably a lot that you can do with that, but you really have to get into the like kind of philosophical ramifications of everything. Like you really have to think about, what's going to happen when I press this button. This
Probably
person
just
dies.
didn't hire the right director.
That reminds me of like they didn't. Those are the kinds of things they did not think about in the most recent Wonder Woman movie. Not to get super off topic, but they don't think about,
Yeah.
what's his name, the male lead from the first movie comes back, he's alive, but he's in somebody else's body, and they like kind of don't address that, the fact that this guy is probably, where's his soul floating around in limbo, or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of thing you got to bring up those deep philosophical questions if you're going to set an excellent premise like that.
No, I agree. So another one on mine that I think we can kind of both agree on is Suicide Squad.
Yeah, what a cool idea. I was so hyped for that when it was first announced. Getting to see Harley Quinn in live action.
Well, just all of them. Like, I think Will Smith's character, and that's the best part, I'd say. But like the whole movie just kind of like I enjoy it for what it is, but it's not good. Like they could have done so much.
No, like there are some cornball jokes like that. Like, I think Killer Croc was really like
whole thing's
they
kind of corny.
Played Killer Croc for some corny laughs that like didn't do justice to his character or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I mean all the Harley Quinn movies that have come out. Well, the Suicide Squad and then the Harley Quinn movie that came out. They're all kind of just like meh. Just examples of, I mean, DC movies are all just kind of
DC
meh.
being DC.
Like they have great source material, but what's the problem? Why can't they bring that?
Well, I don't think Harley Quinn. I think it was good for what it was. I wouldn't say that it failed there either.
I guess. I mean, I don't know how the movie performed or anything. I didn't like that the Harley Quinn movie
I just don't
did
think
all kinds of like, full, narration.
I actually did enjoy that part. I thought it was really creatively done.
Really?
I actually did like it a lot.
The fact that
for
she's
what it
like,
was.
well, here, let me tell you about my story.
I like that.
Like that's like the most overplayed
I kind of liked it. It worked.
TV.
It worked for me.
Right.
But again, I wouldn't say it's failed execution. I would just say it's not the best.
Failed idea. Yeah, I guess that's a failed idea more so than, or from my perspective, being someone who didn't like it, I consider that to be just an idea they should have kept away.
So one that's also very high on my list is downsizing. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
What's up with downsizing?
It's Matt Damon, and it's in the future somehow, and they think of a way to, or find out a way to shrink everyone. You can be shrunken, so that you live in like a tiny house and you eat tiny. It's like to like save the world's resources. You can be like shrunk.
So
to like
what
the
about
size
the
of
kids?
this.
Are the kids shrunk?
Everyone is.
Honey.
Yeah, well, so like they shrink everyone. So like they'd be like as tall as this like nice little Natter Day strawberry lemonade natural light can, and they shrink everyone down. The people
that small.
Yeah, they shrink everyone down, and then you like your money lasts you so much longer because it takes you years to eat like the amount of food you put into a hamburger and stuff like that. And the premise is really cool. Like, they're going to shrink everyone to make the world more sustainable and healthier, and everyone will live longer because you're like tiny all of a sudden. But then they just like ruined it. It was stupid. The first 10 minutes of the movie, it's him and his wife. They go in together, and then she decides to back out of it. So then he becomes tiny, and she goes, "No, I'm not doing it.
I don't want to be tiny." Huh.
She's like, "I don't want to be tiny. I want to be like a normal person." And now he's like down in the little people world and sad. And then he like, I don't want to spoil it for a lot of people. But it became too much about like this one like he meets like a sick little girl and decides to save her. And I was like, this isn't the way it should have went. It should have been like a philosophical, like finding out what he meant to be himself after like he became tiny and lost his wife. And like that kind of thing, not
setting up your little tiny world.
Not like, hey, he said, screw me, I'm just gonna go help this little sick girl.
Well, I guess you got to find a tiny little
purpose. It failed. Awful execution.
Yeah, like what like there's different.
So
ways
much you
could
have done.
The idea. Cool. Another one for me that I'm gonna bring up. So this came out back before the Marvel era of superhero movies, and I'm going to bring up Will Smith once again. But Hancock, do you remember the movie Hancock?
Yeah, I like Hancock a lot. Again, I wouldn't say that it failed. I liked it.
I think that when's the last time you saw that? Because really, they don't follow through with that idea very well. There's no like real villain. They kind of like all of a sudden throw in these ideas about they're these, spoiler alert, these two people who have been existing through time, reliving the same, like getting to know each other, the woman and Will Smith's character. It's like, you present the idea of the anti-hero, but you don't really give him a good villain to like.
I mean, that's fair. I just say they just didn't
highlight his person. Yeah, like I think that it's an idea that they didn't quite know what to do with, and they like tried to do kind of too much with it by throwing in this whole, like, I didn't need there to be all of this plot about the fact that they are these two connected people who have been, meeting each other and then forgetting each other for eons or what. I forget the exact specifics of it. But, if you're going to give us a cool movie for the first time ever where it's like, an anti-hero kind of bad boy who's trying to turn good villain, you got to put, a bad boy who's trying to turn good kind of hero, you got to put a villain up against him that kind of challenges those notions, maybe makes him think, I don't want to be this kind of good guy
like Megamind.
Maybe. What's up with Megamind?
You never seen Megamind?
I've never seen Megamind.
This isn't related because it's not. It's like the same concept essentially. Megamind is an alien who comes to Earth with a rival alien who comes to Earth who's like superhero or Superman essentially. He's like a gifted human and he's got a big head. He's Megamind. He becomes the bad guy. And then the Superman-esque character becomes the bad guy. And, he becomes a good guy. And then Megamind decides, maybe I don't want to be evil. Maybe I want to be good. And they kind of switch. So it's like the same kind of thing, I guess. I haven't seen Hancock in so long.
I mean, to me, like the purpose of superhero movies are like that kind of putting up the good versus evil kind of personalities. You got to make each character challenge the other's perspective on the world, and I don't think there's anything in Hancock that does that. So to me, then it's a failed attempt at the anti-hero kind of a thing, which, like, I mean, what does Deadpool kind of do it better? Maybe.
Yeah, Deadpool does it exceptionally well. I mean,
like in that it's funnier, in that like I mean it's more Hancock than Hancock. I don't know. Deadpool. I think Deadpool does a better job of it. What the heck? What is the quest of Deadpool? I kind of forget. What is he trying to do? He's trying to get revenge on the people who like
killed his wife or girlfriend. And sorry,
made him this way. Yeah. Okay. So like, I mean, yeah. There's something more. Like Hancock doesn't.
Yeah, but his is funny because he's just the anti-hero who kills people and makes jokes.
That's true. They're not really trying to say anything with Deadpool other than just like, haha, here we are. We're doing this now. I don't know. Whatever. Any other ones we want to bring up here? I mean, like, I've got some stuff like Indiana Jones for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Like, interesting premise in that there's aliens, but it's kind of like corny. But I don't know. A lot of people hate on that. I think I brought that movie up in the Guilty Pleasure Movies episode where, like, I like that movie. Maybe it's because I was little when I saw it, but, like, all the things that people call out as flaws, kind of, I just accept it as, like,
so there's a bunch I saw. I Googled a bunch. Like one that came up that I didn't agree with was Prometheus. I don't know, have you ever seen Prometheus?
Yeah,
I loved that movie growing up. I disagreed with it. I thought it had a great premise. I thought it was a great premise because it's the Alien prequels,
right?
And you don't know that until the very end. But I thought it was done exceptionally well. They tee up how the aliens are made.
Titans and everything.
Yeah,
right?
they tee it up great.
Interesting. Yeah, I gotta go. That actually is in my HBO queue right now for something that I want to watch.
Yeah, you should watch it, and then you gotta watch Alien Covenant.
Like the thing I've heard people kind of ream that movie as like it not being a very good movie, but like it sounds like a really interesting idea. There's some really grotesque, like shocking imagery, like the Prometheus. I don't know, the character or like that like gray kind of being, like that is just shocking imagery. That's like some kind of primal humanity /
I think
ancient
it's
alien
executed
stuff.
well. I mean, you can say what you want about like
Everybody
great.
finds a reason to ream on everything.
You can say it's not the best movie, but it's executed, just as well as the premise. I'd say.
Yeah, I'll have to give it another watch.
And then so this is kind of one as well that I watched The Little Things last night. It came out like 2 days ago. I watched it. I wouldn't necessarily categorize it as failed. Like the premise is something that's been done before. It's like the cop drama thriller, but it kind of just failed to do what it meant to be. I think.
Yeah, don't spoil it for me too much because I gotta watch that so we can recap it at the end of the month, maybe when we do a monthly.
But I thought I wanted not fully in this category of failed execution with a great premise, but I liked the premise. I'd say more great cast, failed movie. Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto, and it's not a good movie.
Yeah, Jared Leto's got a interesting track record at this point. I wonder what because doesn't he have like an Oscar? Didn't he win an Oscar or something?
He might. I don't know.
I
don't have Oscar wins in the back of my head.
I heard some podcast talking about.
We really need to get an assistant to just.
Yeah, we need our like homie here who's gonna just be on the computer. Blah 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 blah. Oh, that thing you said, Ben, you're wrong and you're an idiot. Give us your applications. We'll pay you $0 an hour. Just kidding. To all of that. And yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. I don't have too many other thoughts.
The Phantom Menace kept coming up too when I was reading articles about it.
I mean, Star Wars is just like.
I disagree. I think it's good for it. It's not failed execution. Could it be better? Yes, but it's not a failed execution of a premise.
Well, I mean, like, if you're saying could it be better, then I mean, to me, then yeah, it's a fair.
Everything could be better.
Well, look, everybody hates the Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
and
but I don't think it could have. I don't think it's failed execution of a great premise.
Well, I don't know, because if everybody hates it, maybe it is. Because really, the question there is it the best way to have told the story? And I've talked about it in some regards that like maybe the entire Phantom Menace could have been like the first 5 minutes of a different movie.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say a Phantom Menace is like a 50%.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm talking like really failed, like it was like absolutely bad. Like they shouldn't have made the movie bad execution.
Some would argue that with the Phantom Menace. I would not.
I wouldn't.
I mean,
I disagree with that.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, poor, like absolutely awful execution. Like they completely missed the point of what it was supposed to do.
No, then yeah, sure. I guess you can't say that. I don't know if any of these movies like totally missed the mark of what they.
I'd say for the ones that I think Avatar did. Avatar missed it. Completely screwed it up. Completely did it wrong. I think The Purge
Dragon
too.
Ball definitely did.
The Purge, I think completely they missed it. Yeah, sure they got they did it. They made the movie, but it could have been a billion times better. I'd give it they failed. Give it a letter grade. It's an F.
Right. And in that regard,
same with the box. Failed. They could have done so much better. You could have done so much.
That
they pulled it off.
Think about for the rest of the time, but
it could be in every single philosophy classroom.
Of the box in ages. Yeah, you would think that would be
when
people talk about their kind of Kantian duty ethics, or the idea of doing the greatest amount of good for the greatest number of people. You'd think the box is something that would just come up, but no, it's not because they didn't solidify.
Didn't do a good job of it at all.
Well, I don't know. I don't have any more to mention. If you listening think you have any movies that we missed that you think are just great ideas but done poorly, please let us know. I'm sure we could maybe someday go back over them as we continue to think about them. I'm sure there's some great premises for movies that are going to suck here in 2021. So
yeah, I saw a lot of old movies, so stuff I have 70s and 80s movies I have never seen. So
right, yeah, I'm not so caught up on those. But yeah, if you got any suggestions or or ideas or movies you thought sucked, let us know. We'd love to give our takes about them. I think like
I have one more that just popped in my mind before we log off
one
today.
more before we log off.
Have you seen The Mist?
No, what's up with The Mist?
I haven't seen it in so long.
Is that the one where
the mist the mist comes in and there's like creatures. There's like creatures that kill everyone.
Right.
And it's one that got a lot of the ending was like, oh, so crazy.
I bet you there are a bunch of horror movies.
I think horror movies are all probably like that.
Because they come up with these really interesting like ideas,
and then it just sucks.
It's just some money grab kind of. Let's just show some boobs and kill some people and
huge spoiler alert for The Mist. It's probably like a 15-year-old movie at this point. At the end of The Mist, it's like they follow a family, and they're like in the woods running from like the mist and the creatures. The dad has a gun, and I think there's 3 bullets in it, and he's got like a wife and 2 kids. And they're like at the end of the forest, and they're just like, we're just gonna kill ourselves so we can escape the mist. And then the dad shoots his wife and 2 kids, and then as he thinks the monster's coming to get him, the mist clears and it's like the army and they save him.
And he doesn't die?
And he doesn't. He only has enough bullets to kill his family.
So he just killed his
family. So he kills his family and then they like save him.
Brutal.
I think it was a bad execution. I haven't seen it in so long. It just came to mind.
Yeah, that sounds.
Because I don't think it's a good. I don't remember it being a good movie.
Yeah, I tend to remember the good ones over the bad ones. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we can agree. Horror movies are just there's probably a billion that we could just list off of like could have been
really
good.
Interesting premises. Yeah.
Should have been good.
Should have been good, but instead
I can probably go find like 5 from last year that came out.
Right. I mean, like Paranormal Activity. Those movies all kind of like.
Those were on the list too. Those were on the list
basic.
too of like all the Paranormal Activity movies are like. I don't think they failed though because people really like them and they kind of like. Just because I don't think they're scary doesn't mean they're not.
Yeah, I don't know.
They did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, they sure did. They were interesting.
Dude, they made the first Paranormal Activity for like $60,000.
Really?
And they made like.
I'm sure they made millions.
I think they made like
millions of dollars.
Yeah, they made millions and millions and millions of dollars. I think they made like $60 million off like $60K. Like it's
that's incredible.
Dumb, stupid amount.
Yeah, I
of
saw
money.
Paranormal Activity 3, and that was the first one I saw in theaters. That movie kind of made me crap my pants, but I think that was because I was with some friends and we were just being foolish 14-year-olds in the movie theater. I don't know. Interesting kind of movies. I love that kind of haunted stuff, like that kind of like demons and cult stuff. There's a lot to talk about there.
But yeah, definitely drop us a comment, shoot Benny or I a text, and let us know what movies we missed or should talk on. We can make a part 2 to this.
100% we can make a part 2. Like, we can keep going. So yeah, like let us know. Pricey Popcorn on the social medias, and like we'll come back for it another time.
Yeah, this is our first episode of the year, I think. Is it? Or did we do one?
I think we did one, but then we just took like 2 or 3 weeks off. It's been tough, like
sorry guys.
Weather and like life has been tough, but like we were also we had our heads in the old think tank. The time being, we're gonna come out strong going forward. So
yeah,
thanks for sticking with us.
This is our first episode of February then. So share with a friend who likes movies or film or TV shows, and we'll see you next week. Thanks guys.
Yeah, have a good one.